Hi everyone, my name is Karen, this is my channel RatherBeReading, and today I'm bringing to you a reading vlog. Hi guys, it is 12:04 p.m. on Saturday the 9th of March. I'm in the library car park. I'm actually parked somewhere a little bit different, so I'm going to try to film this a bit quicker because I feel like I'm really visible to all of the people. So I just came from the hairdresser. I had my hair done. I don't know if you can tell on camera in this lighting. Can you tell? I think you kind of can. I've gone for a much more reddy tone, like a reddish tone in the brown, which I think looks really nice with the like lighter ends. Like I'm really happy with it, and it's gotten rid of the like, yeah, you can really see the red when I go like that. It's gotten rid of the blonde, like kind of more chunky parts that I had through the top, which I wasn't in love with. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that looks. I don't have a lot of reading to talk to you guys about. Oh, did I say welcome to the vlog? Welcome to a new vlog. I don't have a lot of reading to talk to you guys about because I'm still, I haven't read, oh, that's a lie. That's a lie, I have read since I spoke to you guys. So, I am still reading The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, which I was reading in the last vlog. I only read one more chapter. This is my buddy read that I'm doing with Michelle. I read chapter 5 last night before I went to bed, so I'm on page 41. We were supposed to read 10 chapters a day, so I'm a little bit behind. So, technically I would need to get to chapter, like read 20, up to 20 chapters of this today, but the chapters aren't super long. We'll hopefully get that read this afternoon up to that point, and then I'll be able to update Michelle, and she's already, there's a couple of updates on there. She's read up to chapter 10, so there's updates on Voxer for those chapters, which I haven't listened to yet because I haven't read it, so I don't want to be spoiled. So there's that. I am also still, when I'm up to date on my chapters and I don't want to read like ahead of Michelle, I will be going back in and out of The Widow Next Door by L.A. Detweiler. That's my other book that I'm reading on ebook from NetGalley. I'm 25% of the way through that, so that one I'll be dipping in and out of, like when I'm not reading this one. So that's all I'm reading. I'm going to go now because I turned the car off to film this clip, and it's really hot today. We've had a couple of cooler days, but today is really warm, and it's really warm in my car right now, and I need to go in and pick up my holds. So yeah, that is all I really have for this clip. I will check in with you guys at some point during the day tomorrow and let you know how I'm getting on with all of my reading. So I'll talk to you guys then. Bye guys. Hi guys, it is 4:55 p.m. on Sunday the 10th of March. I'm just about to head around to my parents' place for dinner. I'm going to feed the cat and head around, so I thought I'd film this clip for you guys before I left while the lighting is still semi-decent. It's still daylight savings. I think daylight savings doesn't end for another 2 or 3 weeks, but we are definitely heading into that stage of the year when the days are starting to get darker a lot earlier, which is sad because I love daylight savings, and I'll be really sad when daylight savings ends. I do love the cooler weather, excited for the cooler weather, but sad that that means that we will be getting dark nice and early. So on to a reading update. So I am of course continuing on with my buddy read of The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. So I read my chapter, so as a loose guideline, we're kind of working on 10 chapters a day. So yesterday I read through chapter 20, so I was on page 160. I haven't read my chapters today because I think I'm still ahead of where Michelle is, so I didn't want to like race ahead of where she is. So I haven't read any more of this today. My thoughts. This is a very confusing story. It's very, and I as I mentioned to Michelle in one of my clips, it's like, confusing isn't bad for me. I don't mind being confused if there's payoff. I don't know yet. Obviously, I'm only 160 pages in. Is there going to be payoff for the confusion? I don't know. It is a very detail-heavy book. There's a lot of stuff in there, and I don't know if I've only noticed it because this is a really good book to buddy read. I don't know if I've only really noticed the details, like so many of the details, because I am openly discussing them with Michelle as they go through, and some things that I didn't quite pick up on, she'll mention, and then so I realize like how many details there really are in this book. Like I'll leave a message for her on Voxer being like, oh, you know, I see that they've mentioned this, I wonder if that's going to mean something about this, and then she'll be like, yeah, and what about that? And I'll be like, oh yeah, I like completely forgot about that. Like there is, and we're only 160 pages in, I'm only about a third, just under a third of the way through this, because this is just over 500 pages, and there's already so much going on, but at the same time we know literally nothing. And it has been very confusing as well to even grasp how this works, how all of this waking up in the new bodies and like how it all works and like what the purpose of it is. Like it really takes a while. Like you really do just kind of get dumped into this story and have to kind of figure it out as you go along. So I am enjoying it, but like I said, I'm very, very confused, and I just am hopeful that that confusion is going to have a really great payoff, because if it has really great payoff, then it'll be a much higher rated book. But if I am just really, really confused and at the end I'm like, well, that was crap ending, then I'll just be pissed off at it. So that is my thoughts on that. So because I haven't been reading that today, because I am a bit ahead of where Michelle is, I don't know why I show you my Kindle sometimes, like as if, here's my book. I'm still reading on my Kindle, my other book, my NetGalley read, The Widow Next Door by L.A. Detweiler. So after I was caught up on my chapters last night, I read a little bit, and I've read a bit of it today. So let me open my Kindle so I can actually tell you how far through I am. So I'm 58% of the way through, so I've made fairly decent progress, and I will just keep continuing on with this probably until I hear from Michelle on this, which probably won't be till tomorrow, because it's like 1:30 in the morning where Michelle is right now. So my thoughts on The Widow Next Door. It's very slow. Have I even given you... Okay, hold on. I don't think I've given you synopsis on either of these in this vlog. This, in case you don't know, is a mystery thriller following... There's a party at this like estate. It's kind of historical. Well, it's historical, and there's a party at this estate, and a woman dies, and we are following a character who is trying to solve the murder, but every day he wakes up in the body of a different guest and like re-experiences it from like a new perspective. That's kind of the synopsis that I knew going into this. So that's what this is about. And then, so The Widow Next Door, my NetGalley read, is a thriller. It basically, from the synopsis, is about this couple move into a new house, and there is a like kind of lonely old widow who lives next door, and then it's basically about the widow maybe becoming a little bit too involved in their lives. And I mentioned at one of my updates in the previous vlog that I was surprised when I picked up The Widow Next Door that it's actually told from the widow, like the old lady's perspective. I had assumed it was going to be from the perspective of the couple with this like sinister lady next door, but it's actually told from the old woman's point of view. And it's quite slow. That's the main, like, probably problem that I'm having with it, is that it's really slow. Having said that, I think the author is doing quite a good job of... This old lady is a very unreliable narrator. She is very old, and her mind isn't what it used to be, and she recognizes at different times that she's not sure whether things are happening the way that she thinks that they're happening, and she loses time. Not like loses time, but she's, you know, she just lives at home on her own with like no real company most of the time, and so days kind of bleed together, all of that type of thing. So she's very unreliable, and the author does a great job of creating this almost sense of confusion in who is the sinister one here. We have this old lady, and we get the vibe that everything is not as it seems with this old lady, and we do also get kind of flashbacks into her life. My battery is flashing, I need to finish this quickly. But then we also get the old lady viewing this couple, and we get the vibe that something is not right with this couple. So it's kind of like we don't know what's going on. So I'm looking forward to reading further into it and trying to kind of figure out exactly what is going on. So that is kind of where I'm up to with my readings. Like I said, just continuing on with these two books for now. Like I said, I'm going to go now because my battery is really, really flashing at me, and I'm heading around to my parents' place for dinner, and I will talk to you guys. Just a reminder, it's a holiday tomorrow, so I'm not at work tomorrow, so hopefully I'll get a lot of reading done again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. It is 7:09 p.m. on Monday, the 11th of March. Apologies for this kind of weird lighting. I have my curtains still open, but I have turned on my overhead light as well because the light is kind of dying, and my neighbors can probably see me because I'm now sitting in the room with the blinds open and the light on, but that's fine. They probably already think I'm weird, so what's new? So A bit of an update, I guess. I have had a pretty relaxing weekend for the most part. I'm trying to think where I was at last night. I went round to my parents' place last night for dinner, and my sister and my niece and nephew were also there. And so my mum, my sister, and my niece and nephew and I ended up playing a game of Monopoly, which I won. So that was fun. And I got home, like, not late, but I got home at like 11:30. And I had a few hours sleep, and then I got up just before 3 a.m. to go round to my parents' place to watch the Arsenal game with my parents, which was on at 3 a.m. and we watched that. I then came home. I got home around 5 a.m. I then went back to sleep for like another 3.5 hours, and then got up because I was going with my parents to the movies today. So I went to the movies with my parents. We saw Captain Marvel. I really liked it. Like, I really, really liked it. I'll talk more about that in my movie update videos, but I did really enjoy it. Went to see that. We then went straight from there to have like a late lunch near the beach. Like, I had fish and chips near the beach. It was like 2:30. And then by the time I came home, I think it was about 4 in the afternoon. I wasn't going to knitting group tonight, so I'm spending the rest of the evening at home. Back to work tomorrow. So, yeah, just spending a relaxing evening at home to prepare for the work week. I have also decided, so I realized actually, like, just before filming this really, that I didn't do any booktube work this weekend. I haven't filmed any videos, I haven't edited anything, and I haven't put anything up. I'm actually behind now. Like, the vlog from before this should have gone up. I haven't even filmed an intro outro for it, and so I'm thinking that I might take a mini break from booktube this month. I will still vlog, and I think I'll still put the vlogs up, so probably tomorrow when I get home. Tomorrow night I've got physio, and so I'm normally home, and I normally have much more time at home in the evening on a physio night, because physio is like straight when I get home from work, and then I'm normally home, by like 6:30 with the evening ahead of me. So I think that I will edit the vlog from before this and get that up tomorrow night, and then I will keep going with the vlogs. I may do a mid-month wrap up because that just makes it easier when it comes to the end of the month. Wrap up, but keeping it not too long, but I may not even do that. And I don't think I'll do anything but vlogs for March, and just take kind of a mini break this month, because I've been feeling a little bit burnt out on it. Not burnt out on it like I'm not enjoying it. I am. It's just I haven't taken a proper break in quite a while, and I'm tired. It's sometimes really hard to find time to film, and I've been, if you guys watch the vlogs, which I presume you do if you're watching this clip right now, I am quite busy a lot of the time. I work full time. I have stuff going on almost every evening. And then I spend a good chunk of my weekend normally, like, on a Saturday usually, either filming and editing videos for the upcoming week, and it can be a lot. It can, I'm not gonna lie. And I've also, this isn't really a factor, but my channel has been very stagnant lately in terms of engagement, and not engagement, that's not, I mean, all of my regular commenters still comment, which I love you guys, but my channel's not really growing. I have been on pretty much the same subscriber count for, I think, about 6 months. It'll go up by a couple and then go down by, and I mean a couple, I'm literally talking within like 5 or 6 subscribers, and it's been around that level for a long time. And it's not a big deal. I'm not here for the numbers. I've always said that, but it can be tough, because even though my channel was very slow growing, at least it was growing, and now I feel like it's really, really not growing at all. Which can be hard when that's happening, to find the motivation. And I just think that maybe if I take a little bit of time away, have a little bit of time to relax a bit more. Also, because I am going to have, I think, quite a busy month. I'm not going to get into it, but I think I'm going to have quite a busy reading month in April. Because there's a couple of different readathons that I'm planning on participating in April, and I've got 10 days off in April. I don't think I've mentioned that as well. I have taken Easter, like Good Friday and Easter Monday, and then we have Anzac Day in Australia on the Wednesday of that week as well, which is also a holiday. So there are only 3 working days that week, which I've taken off, which means collectively I've got a 10-day break, which I'm really excited about. So I'm hoping to get a lot of relaxing and reading and stuff done in that period as well. So I just think I'm going to get a lot, there's going to be a lot going on in April. So I thought March might be a good time to like take a bit more of a break. I haven't really announced it on my channel, I guess, but it will be in this vlog, so people who watch the vlogs will know, and I'll probably tweet about it as well. So yeah, that's just something I kind of decided on literally just now, but I just think I need it. I just need that little bit of a rest to just recharge a little bit and not feel as pressured to keep up with content, because I don't want to lose the passion for it, because I love my channel. So I love doing it, and I love meeting people and engaging with people. That's why I do it. It's for the engagement that I get on my videos, is chatting with people. Like the buddy read I have going on with Michelle at the moment, I never would have had that going on if it wasn't for my booktube channel, because that's how Michelle found me, and she, you know, mentioned doing a buddy read, and now we're chatting on Boxer, and it's been so lovely. So yes, so stop prattling on and let's get to the reading update. So speaking of the buddy read, 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, I'm currently on page 232, so just shy of just shy of halfway. My god, I technically have one chapter, so I'm on chapter 30. Somehow Michelle and I were talking about, I'm technically kind of a day ahead, like I'm living in the future compared to, like, in time zones compared to where Michelle is. So I technically am a day behind, but we're kind of in the same area of reading. So I think I'm going to focus on this for tonight, because technically this is day 4 of the readathon, of the buddy read, and we initially agreed 10 chapters a day. So really I should get through chapter 40 today. So will keep on going with that tonight until I read through chapter 40. That's my plan, but I'm on page 232 now. I am enjoying this. I'm enjoying it a little bit more now. It's still very confusing, but there's different parts that have all started to tie in together, which is something I really enjoy in books. I enjoy when lots of different threads all kind of come back around and loop in together, and you go, oh, I see that was here because this happened here, and now this is happening here, and that means that was why that, you know what I mean? That type of thing. I do really enjoy that in books, and you get a lot of that in this. So I am enjoying this. It is, like I said, a really, really good book for a buddy read, just analyzing everything that's going on. And I have only done a couple of buddy reads, and this is the first one I've ever done on Boxer. I don't know if we're literally sending each other a voice clip chapter to chapter, because there's so much going on. It's so detail oriented, and there's so much going on that there's so much to talk about just within a chapter. I think if it was just like an ordinary book, an ordinary quote unquote book that we were buddy reading, you would just be like, okay, I've read these 5 chapters and this generally kind of is going on and I'm enjoying it. Like, that's kind of it. Whereas in this, we're like, so this happened, and then this happened, and this, which maybe means this, and we've learned about this. So there's a lot to discuss. So it is a really good book for a buddy read. So yeah, I was reading, why do I keep showing my Kindle as if it means anything to you? I'm still reading The Widow Next Door by L.A. Detweiler. So I haven't finished a book in a while, but that's fine because I've got 2 different books going on at once, which means it'll take me longer to finish both of them, but then I'll finish 2 probably around a similar time period. So I'm 63% of the way through The Widow Next Door. I think some shit is about to go down in this, so looking forward to that once I get back to that. I do also have audiobook which has come in. It was exciting. I actually didn't realize I went through. So on my app, I've mentioned before, you can have 10 holds maximum. I've got 10 holds out, and then I've also got an area of books that I've tagged that I want to put on hold. As soon as one comes off hold, I put one from the tag list on hold, because I've got so many that I want to read from there. And I went through my tagged section the other day, and I realized that you could tell there's like a little image in the corner, and I realized you could tell whether they were available to get out. And there was one that I had tagged that actually didn't have any holds on it, and so you could just get out straight away. And it was a book that my sister had recently listened to from, obviously my sister and I are in the same library area. We're on the same Libby app, so she had read that book recently and said that she thought I would like it, that she enjoyed it. So I got that out because that was available. So I have that ready to listen to tomorrow, so I'll talk about that tomorrow. So yeah, that is kind of it, I think. for this clip. I will check in with you guys when I get home from work tomorrow, because like I said, we're back to work tomorrow. Depressingly, back to work tomorrow. And I will talk to you guys then. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. It is... What time is it? It's 6:14 p.m. on Tuesday the 12th of March. I had physio tonight, so I've been to physio and I'm now home and home for the rest of the evening. I am aiming to edit the vlog from before this so I can get that up. As I mentioned in the clip yesterday, I am not putting any other content up in March now except my vlog. So I want to get this one, the one from before this, edited so that that can go up. Back at work today, things were quite busy because of it being a holiday. Basically just means you have to cram 4 days worth of work into 5 days, and particularly because it wasn't a nationwide holiday, like it wasn't Australia-wide. It was in most states, but it wasn't in, it wasn't in Sydney, which is where the majority of my clients are based. So it meant that they were all still around, so it meant that there was a lot still going on even though I wasn't there to action anything. So yeah, it'll be a crazy couple of days at work, I think, trying to catch up on everything. So on to a reading update. So the buddy read of The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. Last night I read through chapter 40. That was where we were hoping to read for we were aiming to read for day 4. So I'm on page 328. So the aim for today, I haven't read any more of this yet because I was a bit ahead of where Michelle was. I think she's almost caught up. I think she's maybe 2 or 3 chapters still behind where I am. But I read my other book the rest of today, which I'll talk about in a minute. And then now this evening, I'll start reading this to read my 10 chapters that I need to read for today. So the aim is to read the 10 chapters today and then 10 chapters tomorrow and finish this. So I am really enjoying this. So I don't want to keep harping on about how confusing and how everything is. I'll just kind of wait to give you any more real thoughts on this until I finish it. Because I think the ending is going to make or break my feelings on this novel. So there's that. As I mentioned, so I was reading that last night. So then today, because I was ahead of where Michelle was, I picked back up the book on my Kindle, The Widow Next Door. And I finished that today, actually. I listened to that on my commute. I read that today on my commute and on my lunch break and on my commute home. And I finished it. So I didn't love it. I was hoping that the book... Winifred! No! Winifred! Don't make me come down there. No! Now she just sits here all innocent-like, as if she wasn't doing anything wrong. Hi, Mum. Give me kisses, Mum. I wasn't doing anything. She knows what she did. So, I'm all distracted. Yeah, I was hoping that the book was building to something, and then it just never really went anywhere super exciting. Yes, something kind of happens at the end, but it wasn't that groundbreaking or exciting, and there is just so much of this book that is just this widow sitting in her house, staring out the window, and then making cups of tea. And, like, I get it. I'd love to do that, but I don't want to read about it. It was kind of boring for a lot of it. And, yes, I liked the whole who is the bad character, like, who's evil, who's good. There is some of that in there, but there's just so much boring stuff that it really dragged the story down, and then the ending, like, didn't really build to a big enough place for me to be excited about the book overall. So I think I'm giving it a 2.5 stars because it was an interesting concept and had some interesting kind of themes in there, but just overall kind of boring, if I'm being honest. So 2.5 stars to that, but I did finish that. I then started an audiobook today. So I'm happy with how much of this audiobook I got listened to, because I realized this morning that the podcast episode that I'd been listening to last Friday, I didn't finish. I'd only listened to like 20 minutes of it, and I was partway through it. And so I finished that, but it was like a 2-hour podcast episode. So I still had like 2 hours left on it. So I listened to that in the morning. And then once I was finished that, I started the audiobook, but I did still manage to get 52% of the audiobook done. So I'll definitely be able to finish this audiobook tomorrow, which is great. So this is called Perennials by Julie Cantrell. So this is a women's fiction, chick lit type of novel. Follows a main character named Winifred. All she's done is move from this end of the couch where she was clawing to that end of the couch. No. It's a women's fiction novel about a main character named Evie. It's Eva. You're testing me. No, you're not allowed. A main character named Eva, who her whole family has always called Lovey. And she's got her a sister named Bitsy, Bitsy being short for Elizabeth. So it's Lovey and Bitsy. I know, kind of cutesy, but it's okay. So we follow Lovey, and her and her sister were very, very close when they were really little, and then as they started to get older, their paths definitely went in different directions, and their relationship became strained. Bitsy basically started to tell lies about Lovey and would always lie about things that Lovey was doing and like try to get Lovey in trouble all the time. And Bitsy was very much like the perfect daughter, the homecoming queen, you know, all of that type of thing. And so when Lovey turns 18 and finishes high school, she's engaged to a boy from the town who she loves or whatever, but she decides through circumstances to break the engagement and to go to college. Her whole family expects her. They're from Mississippi. Her whole family expects her to go to Ole Miss, like everyone kind of does. And she decides, no, she takes a scholarship to a university in Arizona, as far from Mississippi as basically she can get. And so she moves to Arizona, and she's been living in Arizona ever since. She's never gone back home, like never. She's visited, but she's never moved back to Mississippi. She is now 45 years old. And it is her parents' 50th wedding anniversary, and over the years her relationship with her sister has just become even more strained than it was when they were growing up. And it's about her going back to her hometown kind of for 3 weeks. Her parents pressure her into like coming home for like 3 or 4 weeks for the kind of anniversary celebrations, for her parents' 50-year wedding anniversary celebrations. And so it's basically just that story. I am enjoying it. This is a book my sister recommended to me. My sister listened to on audio and she really enjoyed it. I am enjoying it. My only concern is that I feel like there's a character that maybe is going to get some redemption that I don't think necessarily fully deserves redemption, but I'm going to be interested to see how it's handled. So waiting to see how that's handled tomorrow in the second part of the book. But yeah, so I'm enjoying it, and 52% of the way through that. So that is really all of the reading that I've done since I spoke to you guys last. Like I said, I will be reading the next 10 chapters in this tonight, and then if I read those 10 chapters and get caught up on my reading for today, then I'll pick up my next book to move on to, which I will likely be reading tomorrow on my commute, my lunch break and stuff anyway, because once I've caught up on this, I'll wait for Michelle to kind of catch up again, and then we'll probably read the last 10 chapters in this probably tomorrow night, is what I'm thinking is most likely going to happen, depends what happens with Michelle's reading. So yeah, that is really all I have to report. I'm going to go now so I can get to editing this last vlog, so that then I can spend the rest of the evening doing some reading and booktube watching. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow when I get home from work. Bye guys. Hi guys. It is 5:41 p.m. on Wednesday the 13th of March. I've been home from work for a little while actually, but I've had a terrible afternoon. So I left work a little bit early, just like 15 minutes. That was great. Got home a little bit early. That was great. But it was the night to do the flea stuff on the back of Winifred's neck, and she was not happy about it. It's a struggle every month. I hate doing it because she hates it, and it's such a struggle. And when I managed to nab her the first time, she managed to get away from me. And so that's always a disaster when she managed to get away from me, because then I spend ages trying to get her back, because then she's on her guard. And when I was trying to get her again, I noticed that she had done, I don't know whether it's throw up, like whether it's vomit or whether it's cat poo, to be honest, I don't know, but that she'd done a bit on my carpet during the day. And it happens every now and again. It's just like a little bit, and it was right near my doorway. I don't know why she does it. She does it every now and again, just like a little bit. I don't know. Her litter box is always clean, everything like that. I don't know why it happens occasionally. I presume maybe it's an accident, whatever. That was fine. I noticed it and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to clean that up. So then I was trying to get her again so I could do the next stuff, and I managed to get her. And so finally managed to get her, put it onto her, the back of her neck. I then let her go, was, you know, saying to her, good girl, good girl. I then was trying to track her down, like then she took off or whatever after it was finished, like she always does. And then I went to give her some treats to say, you know, that she was a good girl and that, you know, to make her feel better about doing the thing that she doesn't like. And I couldn't find her. And then I managed to find her right in the corner of my room near a big, like near somewhere where I keep my books. And so she was sitting there, and so I gave her the treats. And I was like, oh, good, that's done. And then I was like, oh, I need to clean up this accident or whatever that she'd had. And so I went and got all the cleaning supplies out, and I was down on the floor cleaning that, doing all the cleaning, did that. And as I was cleaning it, I was thinking, wow, this smells really bad. Too much information, but like, and I couldn't figure out, because normally it doesn't smell like that bad, and I couldn't, and the smell was really strong, and I was like, if it was like really fresh and everything, and I couldn't figure out like why that was, and I was like, this is really strange. Anyway, cleaned it all up, sprayed air freshener around where it was and everything, got, you know, finished tidying up, washed my hands, did all of that, went to come back into my bedroom and realized that where she'd gone in the corner of my bedroom after I put the next stuff on her, she had done a massive poo right on the carpet in my bedroom, which I feel like she did out of spite because she was really unhappy about the next up situation. So I was really mad at her. But it's really hard with cats because I don't really know what to do. Like, they're hard to punish. Like with a dog, like they know when you're mad, and like, you know, if you kind of drag a dog to it and like show them that you're angry at them, like they won't like do it again. But it's hard with cats. So anyway, so then I had to clean up that mess as well. So it was not a pleasant afternoon. Anyway, that is way too much information, and you guys don't care about that. But I was just like, well, if you guys have any tips for like giving a cat their flea stuff, or, and now I'm really annoyed too because I feel like she was literally sitting right in front of the poo probably when I gave her the treats, and now she's probably feeling like I rewarded her for pooing in my room, which is not what was happening. Oh, it's not good. Anyway. And then like immediately after that, she was just over at her food bowl eating her dinner, like having a whale of a time. Meanwhile, I was displeased. Anyway, so on to a reading update. So, first off, reading The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. So I didn't manage to get all of the chapters that I was technically meant to read done last night. I only read through chapter 46 instead of all the way through chapter 50, but I was still quite ahead of where Michelle was. And so I read through chapter 46 last night, and then today Michelle had basically caught up, and so I read through to chapter 50 on the bus on the way home. So I am through where I was supposed to be at last night now. So I'm on page 402. So I've basically got 100 pages left of this, which I'm still hoping to get done tonight. I do have a massage tonight, but I'm hoping to get it done when I get home. So on page 402 of that, like I said, I'm going to save the rest of my thoughts on what I really feel about this but I really do feel like it's all, like, so much of it is coming together, which I do enjoy seeing, but yeah, I'm interested to see where it all finishes off. And then, so I read up to that last night, and then I read those few chapters on the bus on the way home because Michelle had caught up throughout the day. But prior to that, I did pick up Vicious by V.E. Schwab, so this is a reread for me. I have read this book in the past and really, really loved it, but I want to reread this before I go into the sequel. And also, the sequel is really big compared to this. Like, I didn't realize, like, how small of a book this is. Like, this is only... It's 340 pages. Anyway, so I read a couple of chapters of this. I didn't end up doing any reading on my lunch break, but I read on the bus on the way to work, so I'm literally just on page 35. So, page 35 of that, I will keep dipping in and out of this. Well, I probably won't need to keep dipping in and out of it now because I'm hoping to... Oh my god, I just keep dropping everything. I'm hoping to read the rest of this tonight, and then I'll just be able to go back to just focusing on one book at a time, excluding audiobooks, as I usually do. So there's that. I then also finished the audiobook today for The Perennials by, is it Julie Cantrell? Yes, by Julie Cantrell. So I want to talk to my sister about it because this is a book that she'd read and had mentioned to me, and I definitely don't think I liked it as much as she did, but I want to talk to her about it and get her thoughts because there's like a lot of just like it all being like a happy kind of story at the end. Like, not happy because some sad stuff happens, but I just don't feel like the issues that were in there were addressed enough in the way that I wanted them to be. And the, like, reasons for, like, what had happened, like, for some of the stuff that had gone on, I was just like, I'm sorry, that's not acceptable. And so that annoyed me as well. But overall, it is, I wonder, I'm gonna have, is this shelved on Goodreads as Christian fiction? Because it definitely has some Christian type themes, but it was done quite well for the most part, like, in the fact that I, as a non-Christian, like, it didn't bother me. It wasn't, like, overly preachy, which some Christian fiction can get. I don't know whether it is shelved on Goodreads as Christian fiction. It's shelved as fiction, Southern contemporary, and Christian fiction. So I haven't actually read any other reviews, so I'll do that as well and kind of see where, but I think maybe I'm just going to give it, I don't know, a 3-star, a straight 3-star. I enjoyed the main character. I enjoyed the main kind of relationship, and I enjoyed her discovery to finding herself. There was just this one whole kind of part, like I said, that I didn't like the way that it was resolved. I just didn't agree with it, and so it was a big, like, drawback on the book for me. But yeah, so I think I'll give it 3 stars, but I do, like I said, want to discuss it with my sister. I might wait until I normally go around to my sister's place on Fridays, which, you know, if you've seen the vlog, so if I end up going around there this Friday, I might have a chat with her about it then and just be like, tell me what you liked about it, and we can have a discussion. So yeah, I think that's a 3-star. So that is all I really have. I was glad that I left with like 15 minutes earlier. I was like, I'm gonna have so much time, not so much time, but I was like, I'm gonna have a good like 45 minutes to like relax at home before I have to head out to my massage, and then I'm gonna get a massage to make me even more relaxed, and then I'm gonna pick up some dinner on the way home, and it's just gonna be a really great evening. And instead I came home to that absolute debacle. All I can say is that yay, it's over for another month, but then I just have to do it next month. So now I might, like I said, look into ways to make it easier on myself and easier on her, because she obviously really doesn't like it. And I hate doing it because, one, it's hard for me, but also because she doesn't like it, and I don't want to do something to her that she doesn't like, but it's like, it's for your own good. Nobody wants fleas or heartworm or any of those things. It's to make you happy and healthy. But you just can't explain this to your furry little friends. And she's so cute. I don't like to be mad at her. Anyway, I'm gonna go now, and I will talk to you guys when I get home. When I get home from work tomorrow, and I should hopefully have my final thoughts on this book when I talk to you guys then. So yeah, bye guys. Hi guys, it is 1:08 p.m. on Saturday the 16th of March. It's been a little while since I spoke to you guys, so I last updated you guys on Wednesday night, I believe, and then, so we've had some things happen. So on Thursday, I went to work. I start work around 8, so I was at work about 10 to 8, had been there for about an hour and a half, I think it was around 9:30, and I got a call from my sister, basically telling me that she was a little bit hysterical, I'm being honest, and she was in an ambulance on her way to the hospital. She'd been in a car accident, and all I could get out of her at that point, she was a little, like, she was upset, and I think she was a little bit in shock, like, understandably, and all I could get out of her at that point is that she couldn't get a hold of mum and dad. She'd been in an accident. Could I try calling mum and dad? So I hung up. At this stage, my adrenaline's pumping because I didn't know how hurt she was or any of that stuff. I'm trying to call my parents. I couldn't get a hold of either my mum or my dad, so basically I just had to drop everything, rush from work, got a cab, and it was at the hospital. She was taken to the hospital closest to where we live, and then so I got a cab to there, and met my sister in emergency. My sister is totally okay. She had a car accident, but she just had like minor injuries, and the type of injuries that you prefer because they're the type of injuries that save your life. She's basically got all injuries related to the airbags going off. She had problems with her hearing, which I think she's still got a little bit of. Her ears were ringing really badly and she couldn't hear out of one of her ears from the explosion of the airbags going off, and she had like abrasions down her arms from the explosion of the airbags, and then also like a seatbelt laceration, like bruising and laceration from the seatbelt. So it was an experience. She's totally fine. She's home now. All of that. She's totally fine. So yeah, I'd rushed to the hospital. Didn't really know how okay she was until I got to the hospital. It turned out that she was okay, but I spent most of the day, and I still couldn't get onto either of my parents. I managed to get onto my dad like an hour or so later. He had been in a meeting at work, in a meeting where he wasn't allowed to take his phone, so he'd been uncontactable. And then my mum had forgotten to take her phone with her that morning, which in a way was probably a good thing because my mum's a bit of a panicker in situations like that, and we didn't manage to get onto her until much later in the afternoon, and by that stage, at least we were able to say she's totally fine. Like we knew exactly what was happening at that stage. Anyway, so I spent my whole day basically on Thursday, most of the day at the hospital with my sister. And then by the time my sister got discharged from emergency on Thursday, it was like 3 o'clock. And I was like, by the time I make it home from work, I'm just going to have to turn around and come back. So I didn't do much reading at all on Thursday, and then I went straight from, I got home and I went to boxing, and I went straight from boxing round to because we also have the issue now, my sister doesn't have a car, because her husband, as I've mentioned in the vlogs previously, they're moving soon up to northern Queensland. Her husband's already gone up there, so he's taken his car, and my sister's car is now damaged. It'll be a write-off, it's totaled basically, and so my sister doesn't have a car, so we've had to kind of rejig. I don't use my car during the week because I catch the bus, but I drive a manual or a stick shift, I think you call it in America, and so my mum had to take my car because my sister can't drive a stick shift, and then my sister had to take my mum's car, and then anyway, it was like a whole debacle. Anyway, and so I went with mum to boxing, and then we picked dinner up for my sister and the kids, and we had dinner there, and so I didn't get home till quite late on Thursday. And then yesterday, Friday, I again didn't get much reading done, and I went straight after work. I went straight to my niece and nephew's they do athletics. It's actually, I think, was their last meet, and I went to that, and then I went straight from there to my sister's place, and we watched some Buffy and Angel, and then again I didn't get home until like 1 a.m. So I haven't filmed in a couple of days. I also haven't done that much reading, so I believe, who is texting me? It's just my dad. So I'm still reading Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I really should have been done with this by now because it's really not very long. It's like 340 pages. I'm on page 193. Like I said, I didn't read at all on the bus yesterday, and I worked through, because I had that whole, not the whole day, but because I only worked like an hour and a half, on Thursday, I tried to make up as many hours as I could yesterday so that I didn't have to take as much of that day of personal leave, and so I worked through lunch yesterday, and then obviously, like I said, I spent the whole day on the Thursday in the hospital and didn't have like my normal commute or anything. Like in the morning I did, but I didn't have a lunch break or anything on Thursday, and I didn't get the bus home, and then I didn't manage to read on the bus on the way to work yesterday, and then I worked straight through lunch. I did read on the bus on the way home, and I read like a little bit last night, but like I said, I just haven't had any like solid reading time. So I am still reading this. Like I said, I'm on page, what did I say? I'm on page 193. My aim basically is to get this done today. That's my goal. So reading that. So I have finished an audiobook though. So I started it on Thursday morning. I only got 20% of the way through it on Thursday because once I left work, I was 20% of the way through, because it wasn't too long of an audiobook. I was 20% of the way through when I left to go to the hospital, and I didn't listen to any more of it that day, but I did manage to listen to the last 80% of it yesterday, and that is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. So this, I'm sure you guys have all heard about. It's very, very popular on BookTube. It is a adult romance. It is own voices for autism rep. The main female character has autism. The main, actually I'm going to look this up. The main male love interest is half Vietnamese, half Swedish. And so the basic premise of it is that the main female character, Stella, is, she's autistic and she's 30 years old, and her parents basically generally are really like ready for her to settle down and have kids and all of that, but she, like, due to her autism, doesn't relate well to people and has basically really struggled with dating and sex and things like that. So she decides to hire an escort to teach her about dating and sex, so that she can get better at it, so that she can have a relationship in the future. I'm just having a look. Is Helen Huang... I'm not sure if the Vietnamese rep is also Own Voices. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not sure about that part, but the autism rep is definitely. So, yeah, and it's basically about that. So this has some of my favorite tropes in it. It's got fake dating. It's got fake dating. It's got some really pretty woman-esque vibes because it's like this person and like a escort. There's something else that it's got in it. I'm trying to think of what it is. Anyway, this book was so good. I've heard a lot of people talk about it. This is easily the best romance I've read in a really long time. It is very steamy. The sex scenes were really good in my opinion. I thought it balances really well because the main male character, Michael, is very much like an alpha type of guy, but it was done so well. He managed to be, like, Helen Huang managed to portray him as still being like this very alpha guy without him being a complete dick. This book has so much in it on consent and all of those types of things, and it was just done so well because the main female character doesn't, you know, she doesn't do well with things that she's not expecting, or like, you know, she likes to be able to plan for things and know that things are happening. So through those circumstances, there's a lot in here on consent and asking someone's permission and all of those types of things. It was done so well. The romance was really good. Like I said, the chemistry and like the steamier scenes were real good, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. I don't even know if I've ever given a romance type book 5 stars. This book was really good. I know that there's a sequel. I think it's a companion novel. So yeah. That's also basically all the reading done. So today, it is the weekend, obviously. It's Saturday. This morning, so that's what I mean. We're in like, it's not a big deal, but we're having to do a bit more kind of family organizing because my sister doesn't have a car and my sister's husband isn't here and she's got the kids and all that type of stuff. So today we went for coffee, but my sister was going to this knitting fiber feast thing, like festival thing today, and so my parents were looking after the kids, but there wasn't going to be enough room in the car for all of us, so I ended up volunteering to pick up my niece and nephew before coffee and bring them, and then my parents go and get my nan. So we all met this morning, like excluding my sister, for coffee this morning, did our shopping and everything. My niece and nephew then came back with me here to my place. We watched The Goonies, and now they've gone to my parents' place. I am having my nephew tonight. My sister has got something on that she's taking my niece to, and so I'm looking after my nephew. I'm not sure if he's going to spend the night or if my sister will pick him up when they're done there. I'm not sure. We still haven't worked that out exactly. And then tomorrow, my niece has her first soccer game of the year, and so we're all going to that to like support her in her first game of the year. Unfortunately, it's an 8:45 a.m. game, and the game is over an hour away. So I think we're going to be up quite early because I think how it's going to work is I think I'll be picking up my sister and the kids, and then my parents will be going down separately, and then because I'm going down with my niece, I think we worked out basically that we need to leave at 6:45. So I'll basically have to be up earlier than what I get up for work during the week tomorrow, which is awful. At least I can probably nap in the afternoon. Anyway, so that's what's happening tomorrow. This is the last clip of this vlog though, so to see all of that shenanigans, you'll have to check into the next vlog. But basically my aim, so today, like I say, has been, like, I haven't had a chance to do anything around the house or anything today. Tomorrow, I think when I get home from soccer is going to be my real productive day, because I think I'm going to my nephew's going to be back here in like 3 or 4 hours, so I'm just going to spend that time trying to get in some reading and watching some booktube, and yeah, and then I'll try to get everything done around the house tomorrow. So Winnie is just trying to relax and calm herself after the kids have left. They're so excited when they come around to see Winnie, and I try to tell them, like, you know, just be calm. Like, she doesn't like it when you guys are really loud. And, you know, they're always like my niece is like, can't I pick her up and make her, like, lay in my lap? And I'm like, she won't. Cats won't stay in your lap if they don't want to. Like, you can try put her in your lap, but she might claw you and she might bite you. So she's just trying to calm down now post them being here. So yeah, I've just got a lazy afternoon ahead, and like I said, I'll be spending most of the evening with my nephew, and then tomorrow soccer, then hopefully a productive afternoon around the house, and then that'll be my weekend. And hopefully I can get this done and then also start a new book tomorrow and make really good progress on that, because I feel like I haven't done much reading so far this month. So yeah, that's it, I think, for this clip. I'm going to go now, and I will see you guys in the outro. Bye, guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed this most recent reading vlog for March. I would love to chat with you guys in the comments down below if you've got any thoughts on what I've been reading, or to chat about what you've been reading. Please like the video if you liked it. Please subscribe if you want to see more from my channel. But that is all I have for this video today. Bye, guys.